everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Codeman Movies. Guys, as I said in my last video, I have moved from Wisconsin to South Carolina. Currently living in Greenville, South Carolina. I left Wisconsin Friday at 3 o'clock at night. Didn't get into Greenville till about 10:30 a.m. in the morning. There was a snowstorm in Kentucky and in through the mountains that I had to drive through, adding on 2 extra hours. So it was not my favorite thing in the entire world, but I am here. I am, for the most part, moved in. I have bought some furniture, some other things and such like that. Still waiting on a bed. I ordered a bed online through Helix and still haven't gotten it yet. It's been almost 2 weeks. So for now, I am sleeping on my couch that I just bought 2 days ago. So yeah, guys, it's been interesting so far with my move. I have no clue where I'm going around this city. It's a very nice city so far. I'm loving everything that I'm seeing here. But yeah, guys, big new thing in life. I'm very happy. There's no snow here. It is not cold. It is currently like 66 degrees outside, and it is sunny and beautiful, and I love it. A little foggy this morning, but other than that, it was great. So yeah, guys, and I also am super close to a theater, 2 miles away. It's great. It's a theater with 20 screens in it. So there's a lot of movies for me to check out. They get a lot of smaller movies that I would not usually have gotten where I lived in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. So this is really great, guys. I'm really excited for what's to come here in South Carolina for me. But yeah, I hope everything is going good for you guys. I'm not going to give an apartment tour yet because it's a mess right now. It doesn't look like it from where you're seeing, but it's a mess. It's a huge mess in here right now, and you know, once I get my bed and stuff like that, it'll be a lot better. But for right now, it's just really crazy and messy. So, yeah, guys, without further ado, let's start talking about movies, shall we? Yeah, I've seen a few movies in the last week, not a whole bunch, but enough. So yeah, guys, grab your drinks. Today, I decided not to go alcoholic, just not feeling it today. So I am just drinking orange juice in a Batman glass because Batman's the bomb. It's a very old Batman glass, but it's my Batman glass. Delicious. All right, guys. So without further ado, let's start talking about movies, shall we? First up, guys, I want to talk about the Golden Globes just a little bit. They were premiered on last Tuesday, which the Golden Globes is not something I've always loved. And I know last year they didn't even do them due to a whole bunch of issues. It used to be on Sundays, now it's on Tuesday, I guess, which is not a big day for people to be watching TV, I don't feel, but whatever. So yeah, this show has just been something that I've always struggled with. I don't trust it. I don't like the way they do things. It's just, the one thing I will say I have enjoyed about the Golden Globes is they serve alcohol there. Everyone's having fun. It's kind of a party, which is kind of the reason why I really didn't enjoy this year's Golden Globes. It did not feel like a party. The host, Gerard, I honestly have no clue who this guy was until I watched this show. Gerard Carmichael. I don't know if I said his name correctly. He's the host of the show. He literally comes out on stage and it's depressing what he's talking about. He's talking about how the Golden Globes basically are racist and suck and blah, 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 blah. I did not laugh once during the opening monologue. It was just very uncomfortable, honestly, is what I would describe it as. I found him as a host just to be very preachy and not very funny. There was one joke he said, really, that made me laugh with the Tom Cruise's Golden Globes joke, which I had no clue Tom Cruise returned all his Golden Globes. It's very interesting, and it's very interesting that not long after that, or before that, I don't remember when it happened, but some of Tom Cruise's castmates from Top Gun Maverick presented an award on stage, so it was a very uncomfortable, very awkward kind of show, and yeah, it's great to see, I guess, everyone kind of dissing the Globes and realizing how things need to change with this organization. Other than that, though, guys, I just did not enjoy watching this. very hard to watch. Again, very preachy at points with not only Carmichael, but just everyone. Everyone was very preachy. And I get it. It kind of needs to be done after last year's being canceled because of issues like this. But it bugged me a little bit. I will say that. It bugged me quite a bit. They also need to start giving people time for their speeches. I understand the show needs a certain runtime, but when Michelle Yeoh is up there talking about how hard she has worked to get to this point, and you're giving her 30 seconds, it's not enough time. Take out some of this preachy stuff at the beginning, take out some of these silly little jokes in the middle of the show, and instead give people the time to speak. I understand there's going to be people there that go on and on and on and on and on, and all they're really doing is just thanking a bunch of people. I understand that. But again, they need more than 30 seconds. 30 seconds is just not enough time for these people to have their moment that they've been dreaming of their entire lives. It bugged me so much how many people were getting cut off. And how many people, Michelle Yeoh literally said, "I will beat you up," and I can do it. And I'm also very conflicted just with hosts in general too. I know the Oscars a couple of years ago didn't do hosts. They didn't do one at all. And there was a lot of controversy over it. I think at times it worked. However, I did like having just an opening and a once upon a time and a happily ever after. I like a little bit of a narrator in there for these award shows. So I think they need to find a better happy balance. I wonder how Jimmy Kimmel's going to be with the Oscars this year. The last 2 times he did the Oscars, I think it was great. I really did. Yes, he had a couple moments that went on just a wee bit too long. Some things that should have just stayed on the Tonight Show or whatever he's doing, I forget. But at the end of the day, I think what he did worked out really well. And I'm excited for the Oscars this year to see how that works out. For the most part, I think everyone that I wanted to win won. I loved the focus on Everything Everywhere All at Once and the Banshees of Inisherin. Yeah, guys, for the most part, the winners were great. The speeches that were given were just great. Just some of these political things and just some of the stuff towards the beginning, the end, that just started bugging me and annoyed me. So yeah, guys, at the end of the day, the show is fine. Is it entertaining in a sense to watch, in a cringe sense? Yes. Is it my favorite thing to watch? No. And, I watched it. That's all I can say about the Golden Globes. I'm not going to rate the Golden Globes necessarily, but just wanted to talk about it since it is a movie-related show, award show that, everyone can pretty much watch. I think it's still on Peacock, too, if you want to watch it. Next up, guys, this was the final movie I watched in my Bloomer apartment. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. This is a movie that so many people have talked about. There's been so many iconic scenes from it that have been talked about, and I've never really fully watched it. I watched it a few times, actually, at work, while I was bartending at Back 40. There's a school bus. Interesting. Anyways, guys, I watched part of this movie while at Back 40. I've never really sat down and watched it. This is an interesting movie, guys. There is so many characters in this movie and so many storylines we follow in this movie. There's not really a main character. I mean, Sean Penn's character is on the poster of this movie, but he's not the main character, I wouldn't say. And at the end of the day, there are all these characters, all these things going on. I don't care that much about them. I couldn't tell. I think he's Spicoli. He's the most interesting, memorable character. I would say that. Everyone else, though, is just kind of there. I didn't love it. Didn't need it. But it's, there's some funny moments. It's an enjoyable enough movie. Excuse me. Oh, I'm tired. I love how this movie does put us in high school characters' mindsets and lives and such, that we can follow them and relate to them and such like that. So it is interesting in that sense. I I did kind of just feel like, though, that this should have been like a TV show. If this had been a TV show and each character had just kind of gotten like an episode or something, or I don't know, this movie just has so much going on in it that's a little overwhelming, I would say. Very random, I think, at times, just where we're going to go from this character, this character, this character, this character. Spicoli's kind of this very stoner comedic person, and then we go to teen pregnancy. It's just, the tone's kind of all over the place. I don't love this movie. I kind of wanted to like it more, considering how much people talk about this movie. It's fine. I wouldn't even say it's fine. It's good. I just don't love it quite as much as I thought I would, I guess. At the end of the day, guys, again, I would say this movie is very much of its time. If you were a child during this time, a teenager during this time, I think you'll probably love this movie because of that. For me, though, it didn't quite connect with me, and I didn't love it. I'll give this movie a 6 out of 10. It's not bad. It's not even okay. It's good. It's just not quite, what I think it should be, I guess. Next up, guys, let's talk about The Whale. This is a movie that I have been so interested in seeing. I have been waiting to see this movie for quite a while. A24 film, a Darren Aronofsky film, I don't know how to say his name. Brendan Fraser is finally returning. Lots of talk that he is going to win an Oscar for this movie. Going back to the Golden Globes, Brendan Fraser was nominated. He was sexually assaulted, I think, from the president of the Golden Globes, which is why he will never be returning to the Golden Globes, he has said, and such like that. It's kind of where his break came from. I don't want to get too much into this rumory drama crap, but Austin Butler won for Elvis instead of Brendan Fraser. Everyone said, well, that's just because he didn't show up, and we knew he wasn't going to show up. So yeah, lots of talk that he's going to win an Oscar. I have a mouse pointed right in his eyeball. Lots of talk that he is going to win an Oscar for this one. I want to start by talking about Darren A. I can't say his last name. I don't love most of his movies. They're all very intriguing, interesting kind of movies. But most of them I don't love. I think I like The Wrestler. I like Black Swan. Requiem for a Dream is good, but just not an amazing movie in my opinion. His last movie I think he did was Mother, which was I don't know what that movie was. He makes interesting, weird movies. He always shoots for the fences. I just don't think it always works for him. So yeah, guys, I was interested in seeing this movie. I was very excited for this movie just because of everything involved with it. But I knew there was a very good chance that I wasn't going to love this movie the same I did Mother and all that other stuff. So I did see this movie first day in Greenville, South Carolina. Living here, I went and saw it. It's a very interesting movie. Everyone in this movie does give an incredible performance, including Brendan Fraser, most specifically Brendan Fraser. But even his supporting cast give fantastic performances. Ty Simpkins, who was a child actor in Jurassic World and Iron Man 3. He's returned to acting now, and, well, at least in this movie, he's returned for a movie, and he does a great job in this movie. And the entire movie really does just take place in an apartment. This Brendan Fraser's character's name is Charlie. Takes place in this apartment building, and it's just basically a week in this man's life, essentially. And it is very interesting. It's a very small cast, and it does just take place in this apartment. I did not know it was based on a stage play. I definitely could tell that it was a play after watching the movie, because it's just set in one location and just the way people talk and such like that. Definitely feels like a stage play. This movie has lots of scenes of Charlie eating really, really quickly and messily and disturbing, piggy-like. And it just feels like it's there to gross out us as the audience, which it was successful in doing. I was kind of grossed out by these scenes because nobody eats like this. And I get what it's kind of trying to show. It's showing this man is so upset. He's unhappy that this is what he does. But it just felt a little too much and like it's trying too hard to disgust me. Some scenes that are way too much with people, I think just people are, these characters are just a little too much. They're a little over the top. It's not the acting that's the problem. I think it's just the characters themselves are just way too much in certain scenes of this movie. And I just couldn't buy them as actual people. Like, it just turned cartoony to me. This movie also does feel very long at times. It's a little over 2 hours. Definitely could be cut back a little bit. And it feels very preachy at times. There's a certain character in this movie that is extremely preachy. And you find out more about them, and it makes more sense as it goes on. But still, the movie just feels very preachy. And I was having a hard time connecting to it. And that's something that Darren A. does a lot, especially with Mother. His last movie, very, very preachy with that movie. And this one also did a little bit of the same, and it was starting to drive me nuts a little bit. So like I said, the movie does feel long. The pacing isn't always the greatest. There's people getting out of a van, and I'm worried they might come over here. Oh shit, I think he's coming over here. Nope. Okay, there's some weird things going on. I'm scared, guys. Okay, he's gone. Okay. Anyways, guys, some scenes that were very preachy and such like that. Something that really bugged me about this movie is something I've talked about in the past on other episodes with other movies I've seen. None of these characters were likable, in my opinion. Everyone was just kind of a terrible human being. I just don't buy a lot of these people being these people. Even Brendan Fraser's character, he has a backstory that makes him kind of this awful human being that the movie tries to make you understand why he's an awful human being, but it doesn't work for me. Just things just a lot of characters, they're doing these awful, terrible things, and there's a lot of this, Charlie's character is constantly using the word honesty, and none of the characters are being honest. So it just felt all over the place with this movie, and I just did not buy this movie at all. And I wanted to. I really did. I'm just people watching kind of right now, guys. I have some very interesting neighbors who I've not met yet, but they're all very interesting. This is weird. I think next time I need to be facing that way so I don't see these people. So yeah, guys. Throughout the movie, the movie's also just very depressing. It's very somber, just like a lot of Darren A movies are. I didn't hate this movie. I'm gonna say the same thing I did about this one with Ridgemont High. It's very different movies though. I enjoyed this movie. I didn't enjoy this movie, but it's not a bad movie. It's still good. It's just, I don't know, it wasn't quite the movie I wanted it to, not even the movie I wanted it to be. It's just not a movie that I particularly loved. I didn't like a lot of things about it, didn't enjoy any of the characters, and at the end of the day, the movie is just kind of like, ooh, look at this super fat guy, and look at him eat, and look at his body, it's gross. And it's just, I don't know. Yeah. This is just a very interesting movie. This is a movie I would love to talk to people about in person, and just see what they all think, because it's an interesting movie. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna give The Whale a 6 out of 10. This was a really long, talked about review because, well, people are distracting me and such like that, but it is what it is. Next up, guys, we have A Man Called Otto. This is a remake of a book. So it's a book first, made into, I believe, a Swedish film, and then now we have our American remake with Tom Hanks. I saw the trailers for this movie, and I just thought it seemed very predictable. It seemed like it was trying too hard to get me to like tear up and cry, and was kind of right. This movie is very predictable. It is very much just trying to get me to go, oh, who and ha, and it is trying to make me cry by the end of the movie as well. I felt this movie was very slow and just not paced very well. I had hits, and there's been hits and misses with Matt Forrester. Is it Matt? I think it's Matt. Matt Forrester. I think it's Matt Forrester. There's been hit and misses. Point is, like Christopher Robin, I enjoyed. World War Z was fine. He made one of the worst James Bond films ever. So he's just been very for me for the most part. Tom Hanks is great in this movie, but I just don't really buy him as this cranky old fart. And I'm sure that's due to all his amazing roles that he's done over his career. I don't buy it though. One second. I did not buy him as this cranky old man. When he's on screen being cranky, I went, you're not that cranky. And I just didn't buy it. I really didn't. Some of these characters are also very cartoony. Some particular people just are saying and doing things that I just don't buy would be happening. There is also a lot of flashbacks in this movie, and it hurts the movie in a sense because the pacing of the movie is so weird that the flashbacks are really making the movie feel longer than they actually are. There's too much time spent with flashbacks. What else do I got with this one, guys? This movie just kind of goes on for way too long, is what I really will say. It feels long, and I think these flashbacks are the biggest reason of why it feels long. It's another movie, guys, that I didn't hate it. I just don't ever feel the need to watch it again. And it is a little bit depressing at times. It's not as heartfelt as I feel the trailers are really kind of making it out to be. I don't know, guys. This movie is fine. Oh, excuse me. But I think the trailers really showed me what the movie was, and I kind of knew, okay, this is going to be the movie before I even saw the movie. There is also a couple things that happen. It's a sad, scary thing that happens, and then another thing happens immediately, like in that scene. And it's like, okay, there's a lot happening right now. I don't buy this. And yeah, the other thing, guys, this is not a bad movie. It's fine. It's fine. This is a movie you can go see with your grandparents or your mom and dad, and everyone wouldn't hate themselves. I'm gonna give this one a 6 out of 10 though too, guys. I have a lot of 6 out of 10s today because I just had a lot of movies this week. Next up, guys, House Party. I saw this trailer before the Black Adam movie, and I heard some things that it was supposed to be on HBO Max, straight to HBO Max. Yeah, that should have just went straight to the HBO Max. This movie sucks, guys. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. This movie is so terrible. I thought from watching the trailer, maybe it had some potential to be one of those really funny movies that are really stupid. It's not. It's just stupid. Not funny at all. The characters are so dumb. So many stupid, cartoony, over-the-top things happen in this movie. So many cameos from celebrities that are just there and gone. There's no point to them at all. I didn't care about what was happening. I didn't care about the characters. I cared about nothing in this movie. I really did not care about anything. I just was so bored by this movie. And the movie wasn't making me laugh. That's the biggest crime. When you have a poster like wow, that's very blurry. When you have a poster like this, though, in the premise of, hey, we are going to have a party at LeBron James's house, it should be funnier and more awesome than this movie, and this movie's just boring. The party doesn't even happen for almost over halfway into, well, that's not true. Probably half hour, 45 minutes into the movie. So, like, a lot of boring stuff happens before then, and then the movie finally kicks in, and it's just as boring, This movie's terrible. It's bad. I have nothing else to say about this movie. I'm gonna give it like a 1 out of 10. I think that's the amount of times I laughed during this movie. It's like one time. Not a good movie, guys. Do not go check this one out. It's so bad. Next up, guys, we have A Man Called Ove. Now, this is the Swedish film that is the remake now of, well, it was the original one to now this remade movie with Tom Hanks. Watching this movie, first of all, I watched it with subtitles. That's the way you should watch foreign films. Don't dub this crap. I noticed this movie very much has a lot of the same exact scenes, same exact dialogue. They switched up some things. They did a couple different things, but for the most part, there's a lot of things that are very much scene for scene, word for word, what the new movie is. This movie also is a little bit shorter, also has much more flashbacks. In the new movie, we find out Otto's life starting from like a young adult. In this movie, we learn him from as a child even. And I would say about 50% of this movie is current day kind of thing, and 50% is his flashbacks. And I think the flashback worked a little bit better in this movie. I think there was still a little bit too much of them, but it worked better in this movie. I will say this, the actor playing Ove in this movie, I feel him as a grouchy man more. And I'm not going to say Tom Hanks' performance was bad in A Man Called Otto. It's just I've seen him too many times as this happy guy that I didn't feel like I bought him as this grumpy guy. Ove, though, the actor playing Ove, I do not know his name, but fantastic. He does a great job. I definitely bought him as this cranky old man. Yeah, let's see, what else do I have here? Like I said, from the flashbacks, you get more why he's cranky too. I think in Otto, you don't really understand why he's cranky. One little bad thing happened to him. He's cranky now. And again, similar to Otto, I found myself being a little bored during these movies. It's just not really my kind of movie. There's also something I forgot to mention in Otto too, because it also happens in Otto. There is something that happens between two characters in which they start hating each other. And it's the dumbest thing in the world. I didn't buy it. I'm sure things like that happen in life. I'm sure they do, and that's stupid. I didn't buy it. I could not. No, that's not why you stop being friends with people, is this one thing that happens. I just feel like I've seen this premise in other movies done better. I think Gran Torino is a better version of this. I think something like Beauty and the Beast is kind of essentially like this, except he's falling in love. I think, I'm trying to think of another one, at least one more. I can't think of another one at the moment. People are grouchy, and then I can't think of one at the moment. But I know this one, guys, as you can see, I am really tired. I still don't even think I've recovered from my 18-hour drive. I really don't. But yeah, guys, I just kind of found both these movies to be a teeny tiny bit boring and rushed in moments. The same moment in Otto that there's events happening on top of events happens in this movie, and I just don't buy these things. Everything feels rushed, but the movies do feel longer than they are, and I did feel bored with both these movies. They're good. They're fine. They're not amazing, though. I'm going to say this one's a little bit better than Otto, though. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. I think just the relationship, it's less cartoony at times. I think we get more of the backstory that helps us really understand why Ove is so cranky. I think this one worked out a little better. So I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. Let's see. I think we have one movie coming out this week that I intend to see, Missing. There was a movie that came out a few years ago called Searching. I think it was 2018 or 2019. And it was all done through the perspective of like computer and cell phone and that kind of thing. It never leaves the screen, essentially. And it was a really interesting, intense, wonderful movie that I really enjoyed. This is kind of a sequel to it, kind of, but it's not the same story. This time, I believe this girl's mom goes missing. Hence why we call Missing. What does that say? From the creators of Searching. Okay. I'm really interested in this one. I really enjoyed searching more than I thought I would, and I'm thinking I might enjoy this one too, but we will see. I will probably have a review for it by the next time we meet. I also have a Regal near me. That's my new theater now, so I have unlimited, meaning that I can go see as many movies as I want for $25 a month. So you bet your butt I'll be going to movies pretty much every day of the week, which I already have this week. So yeah, guys, a lot to be coming, a lot we can talk about in the future here. I know right now everything's a little with my lighting and camera angle and such. Like I said, I'm not fully ready. There's not even a light in this living room. I need to get a lamp that will fit in there. I bought one and it didn't have a lamp shade, so I have to take it back to Walmart. I have to figure this all out. Everything's just a mess right now, but I'm hopeful things are going to work out. I started my new job on Monday, and I'm very hesitant with it. I don't think this will be a future job I continue doing. We'll see, though. I'm hopeful for my day tomorrow. Yeah. A lot going on in my life, guys. I hope everything in your lives are going great. I hope everything is good and happy and wonderful. So yeah, guys, that's about all I got for you. I hope you guys are enjoying your alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverages. I know I did. Yeah, guys, I hope you have an enjoyable week. Please do like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Just want to build a community here so we can talk. I appreciate people commenting. I've had a few more commenters. Don't remember their names at the moment. I think next time I have to shout out the people that actually comment on these videos. I will remember your names last time because right now my head hurts and I can't think. I can't remember what the names are. I'm really bad with names. I apologize. I will shout you guys out probably next time, though. I'll make a note of that. So yeah, guys, I hope you had an enjoyable week, and keep doing what you're doing, and, you know, be happy, be healthy, all that fun stuff. Have a good one, guys.